I thought this one was very strange. I don't know what to make of it.
Hi, guys. I have an ex with reliable contacts inside the office of Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar. The senator has a compulsive obsession for honey. Not a euphemism. I mean the sticky sweetener made by bees. And for example, in a dinner meeting with former Governor Mark Dayton and then Lieutenant Governor Tina Smith at a fancy Twin Cities eatery, she could not keep her fingers out of the artisan honey pot on a charcuterie plate, licking it off and returning to the jar so often that Smith picked it up with a firm, "Let me get this out of your way here." Klobuchar has allegedly demanded staffers go through her house to track down stray plates of honey that she left behind in a rush to exit, including choice locations like her bed.
No!
The woman compulsively eats honey with her fingers.
No!
Full disclosure, yes, I definitely tried to get Ken Klippenstein to investigate this story in 2020, and he just laughed at me, but surely there is some abused staffer who is waiting to spill their guts with just a gentle nudge from the right media. I hope it's you guys.
No.
Oh, also, in 2006, I was in MSP, and I went up to Senator Dayton like a weird nerd, and he introduced me to his, quote, friend and colleague, Larry Craig. So I have met Larry Craig in the Minneapolis airport prior to his scandal. I have not been able to find any sources, but I have heard scuttlebutt that Dayton liked to have bisexual parties at his properties here in Minnesota, and I'm sure that he was involved with Craig in that way.
I don't know what to say about bisexual
I
parties.
guess that last item kind of sucked. You don't have to print that one.
No, that's good.
The first one, I'll go to my grave believing that Amy Klobuchar has a honey addiction.
That is so crazy.
I want to say I feel bad because in my head I'm like, she does sort of like anamorph so well into Winnie the Pooh that like you can really see just like the paw in the pot that she just can't get enough. The poor thing.
Walking into Amy, we gotta talk about Amy.
I am
the honey with the hands, Liz.
So my brain immediately goes to she has a disease.
Oh, like low blood sugar.
There's something. No, but like this is like one of those things where you're like, okay, bring in Dr. House, right? Because Dr. House is going to come in with his crack team and be like, oh, there is a crazy symptom where you compulsively have to eat sugary honey like crazy, and you will literally you will kill. Like I could see Amy Klobuchar killing people who stood in the way of her getting to the honey pot. But it's because she has some like rare condition that only Hugh Laurie can tell us about in the reruns that are on FX or whatever.
Hugh Laurie or David Duchovny. And then we find out it's like she's a monster of the week, like X-Files character.
Gotcha. Oh, she's a bear. Like she's a bear that like
she is Winnie the Pooh.
Or she's a skinwalker or something like that.
Right, and she like turns into honey, and that's how she travels because she slides through all the drains and vents and stuff like that.
Oh, I like that.
I mean, that's just the top of mind with that kind of ring out for me.
It is a very specific and strange addiction.
Right, because it's like Kathy Ack chocolate.
Right.
But it's Amy Ack honey.
And it's like, this is stuff that gets on your hand. It gets all over.
Yes, famously.
You can't, it's not like, oh my God, I can't stop eating chips or something. I can't stop eating like something salty. I can't stop eating like, I don't know what.
Honey?
But honey, it's all over you. It's on your clothes.
Yeah, in bed, Liz. What would you do if you walked into, you're like, I'm doing a wellness check on Brace, and you walked into my apartment, and my bed just had plates of honey. So I'm picturing like one of the,
a plate of honey.
You know how like
she said plate.
People will have plates where it's like there's like a lip around it, and then it kind of like is a slight depression. It's like I'm imagining that slight depression like cover. Have you ever made like when you have fruit flies to try to get them like to to trap them. You make like the apple cider vinegar thing with the cup.
Yeah.
It's like that, but like she just has like these saran wrap things of honey with a little hole that she like digs it out of, and then drips it from like a claw thing to pick up a stuffed animal, drips it into her mouth.
What if she has one of those like the like old school like honey like the honeycomb like stick things that you put in a honey pot, and then she has like different size ones where like so by her bed she has like a big one and she just strips it over. If I saw that, if I like came in and did a wellness check and you had pots of honey all around you and you were like covered in, I would call Dr. House.
Do you think that like you were saying like the flies with apple cider vinegar, it's like are there like what are those glue traps for? Do they get bugs and rats? If you just put out like a little sticky honey pad,
like she's like like her hands would get stuck, and then you could catch her and you'd be like, Amy, you're stuck to all these traps. You have a problem. She does seem like someone who, if you approached her with like a intervention, like we need to do something about that, you constantly, literally and not metaphorically, have your hand in the honey pot, she would turn violent. She seems like someone who would turn violent in an intervention situation.
We got to get the TLC cameras rolling. Yeah. We got to see those sticky fists fly. That is to you. Listen, those little honey sticks that people like carry around?
Yeah.
If you said that people noticed that she was hitting those too often, but to not even have a vessel from pot to mouth beside your own hand.
Maybe she needs the honey sticks to be her like nicotine patch. Those can be her like, that could be, if we get her on the honey sticks, it'll get her for the honey,